Welcome to Co-Parenting Confessions. I am your host, Alicia Price, and I'm so glad to have you guys here with us today. Before we get started, I want you to find the like and subscribe buttons somewhere on the screens because we want you to stick and stay with Co-Parenting Confessions. Now, today I have a really good show because, as you guys know, if you've been watching, I've never been married before. So I want to learn all of the stuff that I need to know about this married life. And we have two men on the show who not only have been married before, but they are embarking on the amazing journey of being married again. So we're talking about marrying again and you're co-parenting, right? So remarrying after divorce. And we have some amazing guests on the show to go down this rabbit hole with us today. So we've got Pierre Douglas. Welcome back to Co-Parenting Confessions. The first guest to come back outside of my family.
Let's go.
This is it. So we got Pierre Douglas, y'all know, the comedian, realtor. And then we have Michael Hayes, who is a project manager and social media influencer who has to tell us a little bit about the social media influencer piece. We got to dive in.
Really, to be completely honest with you, I don't take social media seriously at all, right? And I spend a lot of times, thinking of random subjects to kind of trigger people, right? To see, to get people going, to start conversations. Because really, it's good conversations that a lot of people don't, really think about. So at home, I'm thinking outside the box, and I always consider myself a heavy thinker. So I can't lie, I do troll a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, get on here and say I don't. But for the most part, it's all in good fun and to start conversations and things of that nature on social media.
I love it. So we're gonna have to make sure to go check out.
Yeah, beware.
Yes.
Beware.
So without further ado, I want to dive in, and I also want to thank Pierre, because Pierre reached out to me and was just like, hey, I'm about to propose. And I would love to have this conversation about what does it look like to be remarrying after divorce and navigating the co-parenting space. Yeah. And this was a text message that I got, and I read it, and I was like, okay, time out. Let's go back to the fact that you just said you're about to propose. So I felt a little like an insider that I got to know that before it actually happened. Yeah. But I'm grateful that not only has Pierre been on the show, but values the conversation that comes from the show to the point where he came up with a topic and saw himself here talking about it. And so we about to do the damn thing.
Let's get it.
Let's get to it.
So we have two fathers here, fathers of four.
Yes.
Both engaged, getting married next year.
Yep.
I want to ask, first and foremost, of the previous marriage, what have you learned from that?
Oh, man.
What have you learned from that space? If we go all the way, dialing it all the way back.
You go ahead first.
I'll go first. I've learned patience.
Ooh.
And I learned how to communicate. Those two things were tearing me up in my first marriage. And I was stubborn. I was very stubborn.
Yeah.
But more so communication. I didn't know how to communicate my feelings or receive what was being told
Feedback.
to me about, whatever. So I've had to really sit down and like deal with that with this new person who wouldn't let me run away from those conversations. And so I have to like, dang, like you gonna really just make me sit here and talk about my feelings and listen to yours? Like what's going on? And so learning that from that previous one has really helped me just grow as a man, like learn how to communicate overall.
I love it.
It's funny because it's like a mirror match. Mm-hmm. I feel the same way and I'm still learning. Like I get in my moods where, I kind of shut down. And it's to me, I look at it as a defense mechanism, but also to me, avoid saying something that I'm going to regret. So, with my fiance, she pissed me off or something like that. I kind of, just be to myself and don't want to talk about it until I'm ready, because the last thing I want to do is say something I don't mean, that's going to really, hurt her feelings or something like that. So, but for the most part, reflecting on all the mistakes that I made the first time, I made a whole heap of them in my first marriage. I mean, a whole lot, a whole heap. And just wanting to become a better person so I won't make those same mistakes again. So.
I asked that question too because, as I stated, I have never been married. And someone said to me when I was like, "Where is my husband?" Someone literally said to me, "Be patient. He's getting divorced."
Okay.
I made a joke about that too one time.
Okay.
And I was like, "Wait, what?" And then we had to dive into that a little bit more, and then the realization was like people literally saying that like men will get married the first time and it may not go as well, and then they immediately learn, because men that get married actually want to be married. They want to have that kind of. And Mike is like shaking his head no. Okay.
I mean, the thing is, it's so funny because I actually said this on social media today. I said people are celebrating divorces when it's like, to me, it's a failure. Mm-hmm. Like your first marriage is, or second marriage, if you're having parties, popping balloons and stuff. But to me, I feel like it's an actual failure because you wasted all that time. Well, I mean, I have kids so I don't want to say wasted, but we still went through 15 years of I was in my 20s and now I'm in my 30s. So I have all those years lost that I have to start all over again. So I feel like, me personally, I feel like that's an actual failure. But I didn't want to get married. I didn't even want a relationship. I was like, I'm over it. Yeah. And then I got into a relationship, and I was like, oh, I'm never getting married again. So I actually said that it's never. I was like convinced that it's never going to happen again.
It's funny because like our posts were literally almost exact, going out of these from one to another. Like, I'm not doing it again. Yeah, I remember Forget that. Love. I'm out here, right? And now you're dating, and all of a sudden you meet one, and you're like, you know what?
Yeah, change your mind. just kidding.
Right, exactly. And so it's like, you know what?
Because, but then I would argue though that internally you really wanted then. And that because you were in a space where it was just like something didn't work, or you feel a little sour about it right now. But once you got back to that space of who you are, truly, then you were able to receive the love that was coming your way, and you were also able to reciprocate that. Right. And then you found yourself back in that type of
husband mode is a real thing. Like I feel like I'm my best version of me when I'm in that mode.
So that's what I'm saying. Yeah. It might innately really be who you are. Yeah. So my husband might actually have already been divorced.
He wrapping it up right now.
I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna learn some things.
He's taking that 1 year to get it out. He's in the streets right now.
In the streets. Going to the club.
So that brings me to my next question. So how long after being divorced did you move into the space of I could do this again?
See, my story a little different than yours.
Yeah, Mike got some layers. So
I got some layers.
Go first.
Go ahead. Yeah, you go first.
Mine was quick. So I got divorced, and I would say within a year and a half, 2 years, I was back into another committed relationship.
Okay.
And again, I realized that I didn't enjoy dating. It wasn't for me, and I found a person who made me happy, and it felt good. I was like, I'm not gonna reject what feels good, no matter how far removed I am from that divorce or that marriage. I'm gonna go right and just keep going. Yeah. So mine was simple and quick.
Yeah, because you're like, I'm not gonna block these blessings. This is feeling right. Let me go with this. Yeah. I really appreciate that, because there's some people, and I have been in this space before too, where it's like I kind of like this person, but what if somebody else better comes? Yeah. So maybe I should just, fall back a little bit, ride this out, and, just see. But I really don't enjoy dating either. I'm more of a relationship person.
It wasn't even finding something better. It was more so the conversations around me. Just wait a little bit, nephew. Take time. Take time to heal, and all these conversations going on around me. I'm like, well, am I healed? I'm not. But when is healing ever going to happen?
Right.
Right. It's a journey. So I'd rather be cool where I'm at and be able to be with this person and not do her dirty, but also still get me together, but not lose a great person. So I had to block out all that around me.
That's real. Yeah. I've heard that recently too. Like I'm in this space where I need to heal, and I'm working on me, but also wanting to recognize who you are. Yeah. And don't want to miss out on the opportunity of having someone great in my life, because I'm like, I still kind of got work to do.
Right.
So Mike, let us know the layers. Put us up on the layers.
See what happened. Right. So I was married for a very long time. Had 3 beautiful kids with my ex-wife. Actually, they're 19, 18, and 11.
Okay.
And then after that, I end up getting with a young lady. They got pregnant with my daughter.
Okay.
So I was with her for 2 years. That wasn't going good. So we wound up breaking it off, but we actually opened that relationship up. We decided we're going to just open up and, date other people and stuff like that. And during that time, I was like, this relationship's not working. I'm not into her. I don't want to date nobody else. I just want to have fun. I want to be for the streets. I was for the streets. I'm looking directly in the camera. I was for the streets. So this young lady, just popped up, and I wound up meeting her and having a drink, and we just, chopping it up, chilling. And we stopped talking. And come to find out, she liked me. She was digging me. I mean, I don't understand why, what I'm saying. So she was digging me, and then we went on a Mexico trip as friends. We have mutual friends with each other, and we hit it off. And here we are now, 2 years later. Me being stubborn, saying I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't want it, and then I allowed her to come in and show me something different. Oh, excuse me, and now I'm engaged. So
I love it.
Yeah, it was a, going from the streets to, engaged.
Yes.
But it worked.
And I love that you're honest in sharing that there are those layers of having a marriage, having 3 children, getting into a new relationship that didn't turn out to be what either of you thought it would be,
Right.
but you have a child from that relationship, and then went back to the streets.
Yeah, I was in them.
And then was like, okay, I'm settled down.
Yeah, I really, I was fighting it.
What was the fight? What do you think that was?
It was it's so much energy involved in being in a relationship, because my perspective is, once a man tells a woman that he loves her, then all of a sudden now I have to protect you. You know what I mean? Like I have to, if they start shooting or something like that, then I have to, sacrifice my life to save yours. So it's like once you hit that I love you, then now they do something wrong, I got to make sure that you don't get hurt. So I wasn't ready for that, because I was like not having that responsibility.
Yeah, there's a pressure that comes
it's a
with
lot
that,
of pressure, and then like not spend all my money and stuff like that. But I welcome it. But it's I didn't want. I know how I am in a relationship, so I was really trying to avoid going that route, because it was not working for me.
Yeah.
The previous, couple times before.
So you said money, and it's just ding, ding, ding,
yeah,
ding,
money,
ding for
all
me.
of it. She spends all of
right?
it.
Because I, as a single woman, oftentimes think about the fact that if I do meet a man who is divorced or has children and is now trying to start a new relationship, family, life, whatever with me, you would assume that these men have to have a lot of money to take care of these multiple situations. So what does that feel like? How are you navigating? You got kids you got to pay for. You got a wedding that you got to pay for.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I mean, besides stripping on the weekends.
Well, I am a Jamaican, and the African.
Yeah, you got like 30 jobs.
So many jobs. I have so many jobs. She makes it easy on the money part, though.
Okay.
It's good to have a woman. Not this is my ex-wife, but it's good to have a woman who has her own, who doesn't, she pours into me in that space as well as I pour into her.
Right.
And so the pressure isn't like, oh my God, I gotta, so you still want to provide and do your thing and man up in that space, but having a woman who is equally yoked in that space, or maybe even more on paper, is fantastic for me. And so having us, paying into my family over family over there. That don't sound right.
Hey, it's real.
Pay my dues over there and over here in this household, but also planning for a marriage and also want to just live life. It's a lot, but again, having a person who is equally yoked makes it a whole lot easier and doesn't demand a whole lot.
Yeah, that's good.
I definitely agree. My lady is well educated, and she actually makes more money than me.
Papered up. I love it. Yeah.
And she definitely she was established when I came into the picture, like own house and all that kind of stuff. So it became I want you instead of I need you.
Yeah, there's a difference.
It's a difference. It's a huge difference. So it makes the life a lot easier, and for she's able to provide for herself if I wasn't there or something. If we meet hard times, she's able to hold it down until I'm able to get back on my feet. So that's a plus for sure. Yeah,
I saw an amazing clip the other day, and I reposted it on my social media, where this woman was saying, no matter what, women want a provider, right? And not always a provider in the financial sense.
Yeah.
yes,
Especially if you're the type of woman who already, pays your own bills, you have, things going for you in terms of your own home and whatever. But to have a provider in the sense that there is a man who can create this safe space,
Yeah.
this safe
Soft girl.
environment
yeah,
for me,
Yeah.
right, to flourish and to be myself, and that is a provider also.
Yeah.
It's not always just about money.
yeah. Well, you should say that. You say that louder in the back.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the definition of provider is so centered around
It
money.
goes over a lot of people's heads.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that having a provider is always about the bag.
Yeah.
They're not looking at at all of the other things that men can bring.
Yes.
Right. The values, the attributes that, and just that safety and the security of like, we don't got to be talking, but you in this house, and I feel good here because you're here.
Yeah.
That's invaluable.
Yeah.
So I just think that's amazing.
We should make that a post, and then we'll share it and try to get that to go
Yes.
viral.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah,
because we do so much more stuff. Like if something needs to die in the house,
man, spiders,
rat, anything pops in the house. If something needs to be fixed, I just fixed the washing machine a couple of weeks ago. I mean, it's like it's
you
little.
better than me. I'm calling Taz.
I ain't paying the fine. I ain't paying the fine.
That's still the provider, right? Having that man there to help you figure it out. I oftentimes say I have for years been the brains of the operation.
Mm-hmm.
I am ready to not always be the brains of the operation.
Yeah.
I want to be able to consult with someone. I want feedback from somebody. I am okay with, just being like, hey, you got it.
Right.
That's perfect. I got my thing. You got your thing. Let's rock this out.
It's a partnership.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
So because this is co-parenting confessions, of course we got to talk about the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How are we introducing children? How are children feeling about this engagement? I want to start with, did you tell them you were engaged, or were they involved in what that engagement or the proposal looked like?
You want to go?
So I had a conversation with my kids. They weren't there.
Okay.
My oldest son was there when I did it, but I did talk to all four together. Hey, this is how I'm feeling. They'd already met her, already spent time with her. So all that was, the relationship was established, right? So I'm like, all right, guys, this is how Dad's feeling. I'm gonna do this. I don't know when, but this is about to happen.
But it's gonna happen.
And they were like, oh yeah, no, it's cool, because two of my kids are grown, two are still babies. So they're like, oh no, it's cool. We like her. She's nice, and she loves us as whatever. So I'm like, all right, cool. Y'all cool with it? All right, let's go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I talked to them.
So okay, I want to dive a little bit deeper into that, because you're speaking of your children, but what about her child?
And so her child, she's younger. She's 7.
Okay.
And so I'd already spent time building that relationship, right? And so she already sees me as the father figure, and I'm there. I'm going to dance. I'm picking her from school. I'm doing all this stuff. And so her daughter's like, hey, Dad, what are we doing?
Yeah.
She calls me Dad now. So I'm like, what are we doing?
That's dope.
She's like, when you gonna marry my mom? And so
see, okay, good. Because I was gonna say, did you ask her? Did you tell her, like, I'm gonna marry your mom? And so
and
that's
she's been
amazing.
Waiting. And so when that actually happened, and she was at the party too, she was there to be like front row and got to experience it all too. So
I love it. Yeah. So cute.
Well, it was a little different for me because my lady ended up having back surgery, so I was forced to kind of have her meet my kids faster than I wanted to. Not saying something was wrong, but just like kind of ease into things. So we kind of we sped it up a little bit, and she wound up meeting them. But over time, they had love her, and she's really really close with my daughter, and my lady doesn't have any kids. So she was, this is all new to her, being a stepmom, and she's stepped into that role and does an awesome job. I actually just told her how awesome she was about it 2 days ago. But far as the proposal is concerned, I when I ordered the ring, told my boys, I showed them downstairs. I said, "Hey, I'm about to propose," and then I showed two of them, and then the other one I had to text them and let them know that I was going to, and when I was going to do it. So they were already aware that it was going to happen. And the hardest part though was telling my daughter's mom, because we're tight. We're great friends. And she actually has a great relationship with my fiance now, but I told my daughter's mom I wasn't going to get married.
Oh, and now to make sure we get it. The daughter's mom is your youngest child.
Youngest child, yeah.
Okay, so the first three are boys.
All boys, all boys. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So I told
and your daughter is how old?
4.
Okay.
So yeah. So I told my daughter's mom at the time, like, I'm gonna get married, and then blah blah blah.
Yep.
Then.
And now you getting married.
Now I'm getting married. So it was that I had to, call. I didn't want to text her. I called her and let her know.
Good
because I was like, I don't want you to see this on Facebook, and we have a great relationship. I'm not on child support or anything for any of my kids.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't want it to go weird because all of a sudden you hear that I'm getting married from the grapevine instead of, the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
So, but that was, to me, that was harder than telling my boys, because the last thing I wanted to do was throw that in her face and, make it seem like she wasn't good enough. Here's somebody else, that I'm gonna get married to. So, yeah, that's how
considerate.
I try to be.
So, as I normally do, I share a little bit about my situation, and of course, mine is different because I was not married. So let me just go ahead and keep saying that. But with my co-parent, we were together for several years, straight out of high school up and well into our late 20s. And he is now married. Congratulations. And newlywed. But I did not hear from him that he was engaged. I actually heard about it through my son, who heard about it through someone else. So he knew that his father was interested in potentially proposing. We've known her for several years. They've been in a relationship, but I didn't have that. What is it? In my mind, it would have just been like courtesy.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't even want to say respect. It was just the courtesy.
Common courtesy.
I didn't have the courtesy of like, hey, just wanted to let you know, like, I'm engaged.
Right.
And the reason I want to say that is because for a lot of people, the assumption might be that your children's mother would be upset or envious or like, how come it wasn't me or whatever. And in my case, it wasn't that at all. We have been separate for well over 14 years.
Right.
But I wanted to congratulate him.
Right.
I wanted to be like, you know what, nigga, you made it. like all of the things that I knew you were,
right,
and that you could be for someone. You're doing that,
right.
And like, I'm really happy for you and proud of you as your friend and your family, And so for a long time, I felt a way about the fact that I wasn't given the opportunity to do that.
Right.
And he was engaged for at least 2 years, and we never even talked about it. It was like,
wow.
I know you're engaged. I know that I know you're engaged, but we just ain't gonna acknowledge that you're engaged. Right. So I finally just ripped the Band-Aid off and was like, hey, I want to tell you congratulations. And like, are we gonna not talk about the fact that you're getting married in 2 months?
Officially tell me, bro.
And so I say that because a lot of times, men can have those feelings of, I don't know how this person is going to take it or how they're going to feel about it. Or maybe I don't give a fuck how they feel about it. Yeah. And so I don't care to tell her.
Yeah, my ex-wife, I didn't give a damn how she felt about the engagement. I really didn't care. I didn't care at all, to be honest with you. But because it wasn't fresh.
Yes.
With my daughter's mom, it's a little, 2 years and we're still friends, so it's fresh. But the relationship with my daughter's mom compared to my son's mom is completely different.
Yes.
So I didn't.
Which makes sense too. Like you're saying, the relationship was so long ago.
Yeah.
And in my case, the same thing. Mm-hmm. So my son's father could have felt the same way. Like, I haven't been with her for 14 years. Why do I gotta announce this or tell her?
Right.
But for me, it would have been like, If you was about to go into surgery, you would call me and tell me.
Mm-hmm.
If some other milestone life situation would have happened, you would have told me.
Right.
And so that's where it gets a little like, what is that? Right.
What's going on?
Also, and I have said this time, I don't know now how it will be. So when my day comes, do I give you the courtesy?
Same energy.
Same energy.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. And maybe he'd be like, bitch, I don't give a fuck, But the point is, it's like, it's that courtesy,
right.
And of course, we can, you live and you learn and whatever, but it was just like, whoa, like I would have thought you'd have told me, because I would have told him.
Right.
That's how I would have moved. If it would have happened for me first, I'd have been like, listen, just want you to know. And this is what's going on. I don't think you should have to hear about it from our son, but
Right.
I had the conversation, but I was nervous.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Even though we're cool, we co-parent, we're in a good space.
Yes.
But it's still like,
when it's fresh.
It's fresh. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
She gonna put me on child support. She about to just tear me up.
That's like
some revenge. And that makes sense to think that.
But it was the complete opposite.
Some revenge.
She was like, no, I'm happy for you. I'm glad you. She was super supportive.
Yeah, my ex-wife didn't say nothing to me about it at all, and I don't care. But my daughter's mom, she did. She congratulated us, and but yeah.
Because you know what, with these situations, there should come a level of maturity where you recognize that relationship did not work for you for a reason.
Right. Right.
And so this other person is better, suited for them. Yeah. And that's okay.
Yeah. Like the person she's with right now is perfect for her. Like
it doesn't discount you in any way, shape, or form. Right. This is who this person is supposed to be with. And congratulations.
Right.
That's it. That. Yeah. I love it. So when you start to think about how you're going to be different in this marriage, like what type of husband you want to be. You guys both have mentioned like learning, new ways of communicating and difference around patience and all these sorts of things. What type of husband do you want to be?
I think now, I wasn't mad at the husband I was before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't mad at who I was before. Yeah. I'm a lot more affectionate now. So I'm glad that I'm more affectionate now, because I was not an affectionate person. I didn't know I wasn't until she said, hey, bruh. And then even now she's like, hey. So I'm a lot more affectionate now. But other than that, I'm just a lot older, mature, better decision-making skills, a little bit more money now, so you can enjoy life a little bit better. Yeah. But overall, I wasn't mad at who I was before. So
yeah, that's good.
It was like just Pierre 2.0.
Well, I'm mad at the mistakes that I made back then. But as far as how I ran the household or treated my ex-wife, I believe I did a pretty good job. And so I'm not mad at the husband I was back then. But like you said before, like patience and learning to talk through things, that's what I need to work on the most, as far as just, I don't really get mad or anything, but just talking through things, because that's what's important. And communication needs to be there all the time. But like you said, from where I was at 23 to, being 40 now, making more money. So lifestyle is a little bit different compared to when the first time around. And just have access to different things, being able to travel 6-7 times a year compared to not going at all, So it's just a better life experience for me now. And me just knowing about, the not making the same mistakes that I made before. Yeah. That's my biggest thing. So
this just popped into my head, wondering, do you feel the need, or do you have a desire to have more children in this new marriage?
Heck no.
No.
Heavens no.
No. I told
everything.
They can take these mugs. I can donate them science or something. They can have them. There's a no. Hell no.
And I asked that because I think culturally, I will say that, especially for Black folks, we're quicker to think the way that we solidify family and relationship is to become parents first.
Right.
Or that it's not really solidified unless y'all got some kids.
Nah.
I just think people was crazy to get married without, like, you ain't got no baby. Why you
married?
I thought that was insane.
So that's why I wanted to really point that out, is that it's not, you don't have to have children in order to make your relationship mean something more.
I agree 100%. I told my girl, like, we travel way too much, you know, at our age. I'm at the second part of my life, you know, and we travel way too much to even think about kids. And you know, she does a wonderful job with my 4-year-old. I'm like, look, you know, you even you can skip some stages. You know, you got to worry about changing no diapers and that. You know?
Yeah.
So, but no, I'm good on kids.
And they're expensive. Like,
they are.
It just takes away from so much. Like my girlfriend's daughter, my daughter now, she's 7, and she's in dance. And just that is so.
I haven't got there yet, bro.
My Lord and Savior. And so just like, but with that, you know, we get to travel with dance and have a good experience around that. So like, that's enough. We don't need to add.
No, that makes great sense. So when you think of like how you involve your children in this, what are you doing to support your fiance to have a good relationship with your kids? Like, how have you helped to make that transition or bridge that?
That's a good question. I don't even know. Just it's the conversation, I guess, and making sure she's confident in the position. Because in my case, like I said, my girl came in with no kids whatsoever. So it was a brand new experience in learning the patience. She has nieces and nephews, but that's not the same as, you know, having your own. And so I guess this conversation would be the only way I can go that route. I don't know.
I put mine in the lion's den.
You just threw them in there.
Here you go. I gotta go.
Did you?
I gotta go to the comedy show. I'll be right back.
That was an awkward conversation.
Just watch it. No. So the first initial meeting was we had a birthday dinner for myself.
Okay.
And she was there. The kids were there. So that was the first meeting ever.
Got it.
And then the next following summer, the kids come with me. We're not living together yet, but my kids are with me, so you have to interact with them. Next summer, now we're living together, so the kids are in the same household. So at that point, it was like cool. But she has their phone number, so she makes the initiative. Just how you doing? You good?
That's good. That's
Cash out some money. You need anything? So she's very like she does her own thing. Yep. So I didn't have to like force it or like ask her. She just does it.
So I think that's awesome. You know, like that you did, you know, what it took to like make that connection for them, but then also giving her space to be herself and to just, you know, fall in there and figure it out. And same with you, like, even though she's not a mother, but being a caregiver, right? Like, I mean, so I think that's a huge thing where you don't have to necessarily be a parent, but if you are willing to be a caregiver and you're willing to, you know, build that rapport and relationship, that's really important.
Yeah, she does a good job.
What advice would you give to me, who it's inevitable, I cannot date without the man having kids?
It's a hard thing.
Yeah.
They don't exist.
It's a needle in a haystack. Yeah.
I have one child who is about to be 22, which means I have 0 kids.
Yeah, you're empty nester at this point.
I have 0 kids. Yeah. And then I meet men who have children.
Right.
To my 0.
Yeah, that's hard.
So what advice would you give, even if you were outside of yourself thinking of like, how do I give advice to now who's your fiance, right? If you didn't know her and you could have told her in advance, this is what you need to prepare yourself for, what would you have said?
Well, I mean, see, it's different. It's different because not all situations are the same. So like, you might run into a bad baby mama situation where you kind of have to, you know, warn, you know, be like, hey, she might cut you. You know what I mean? But like, you know, and that's kind of hard to kind of answer that question because not all.
Well, maybe even if it's not about warning about your co-parent, but how you support a man who is in this space, who is a father.
Patience.
You know, I think that's the key, because we can't control her,
Right.
regardless. Like, you know, she gonna do what she want to do, when she want to do it, in this relationship.
I say,
right? You know,
I say soft.
Yeah.
Be patient. Stay in that feminine energy. You know, just give him peace. Be understanding.
Yep.
Because you don't know exactly what that man is going through, dealing with that child's mother. It could be, you know, they could be best friends or worse enemies. And a good man, this might sound crazy, but he doesn't want to drag you into that drama with the baby mama or the ex-wife or whatever. He wants to kind of keep that separate to protect you from that, but, you know, let you know things that are going on, but like he don't want y'all, you know, bumping heads and colliding and stuff like that. So just be patient with him and understand that if you know the type of man you have, know that he's doing his best to keep you in a safe spot, you know. So I would just say that.
Mike, that is so good. Like, I think so many women need to hear that and understand that, because you are not privy to every single thing that's happening, doesn't mean you're being isolated.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't mean that he doesn't think you can handle it. It means he's trying to protect you.
Yep.
He's trying to manage things. He's trying to be in control of the family dynamic.
Yeah.
And what happens, I think, a lot of times is that women think, we don't know every single thing that's happening. You're not coming back and saying, she said this, she did this, this is what happened, that you're not involving us, you're keeping secrets, you're hiding things.
Yep.
And it needs to be stated that that men need the space to handle their business.
Yep.
You know, like, there's some things that you shouldn't have to deal with.
Right.
And that is a privilege for you.
Right.
You know?
But on the same side, I don't care to know everything what's going on with, you know, you and your kid's father. I mean, the important stuff, fantastic. But like every little bit, like, I trust you as an adult, as a parent, as a partner to handle business. And if it gets real, bring it back to me.
That's good, because it could make things really messy really fast for no reason.
The last thing you want to do is have your new fiance or girlfriend fighting either, you know, it could be just, you know, just verbal. You know, you don't want them to have that altercation with your, you know, kids. It's because now you put now the kids are in an awkward situation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's too
now
much.
The kids gotta be like, okay, well,
because
I gotta choose a side, and you know what side I'm choosing.
Yeah, it's not good, because now, you know, if the daughters you're fighting, they're fighting, and then you might not your daughter's mom or, you know, son's mom might not want you to hang around with, you know, your new girlfriend. So it's a lot to control, a lot to manage. So I don't think a lot of men get enough credit for that, the ones that are actually managing it.
Listen, manage is a trigger word around here, Mike. And I'm so glad you keep using it, because I can't even remember what episode it was. And I had two of my great friends on the show. And I said, you know, what does it feel like when you're trying to manage? And these are both men that were married. And I was like, how do you manage this? And they was getting green in the face, like, wait, don't say manage. Like, I'm going to get in trouble by my woman for saying I'm managing shit.
No, I'm saying it.
Like it was a crack the whip. And I was like, but that's what you want your man to come in and do.
Yeah.
So how are we going to be mad at him for saying, I'm trying to manage this situation?
Yeah.
My mind was blown.
Yeah, no, some men are just scared. You know, we don't want to get this, like, they're battered men. You know?
Yes.
They don't want to get in trouble.
That's real.
I had to learn that too. Like, you don't gotta be a man, like, not be a man, but you don't gotta tiptoe around every emotion, every feeling. Like, she's with you for a reason. Like, straighten up. I'm managing this. Like, I'm doing this. So
put that foot down.
Right.
They love it.
Because if we're gonna be told over and over and over, operate in your feminine, then it's like, operate in your masculine. We want you to step up and be like, hey, I got this.
Right.
No matter if there's this sucking of the teeth and the hemming and the hawing, you're gonna sit back and be like, okay, like, he got it. You know, and you want that. And that's the joy and the beauty of having that partnership.
I agree.
So before we're out of here, we have to dive into, because seems like it's always a good topic when it comes to co-parenting, is how the ex-wife has met the soon-to-be wife.
Okay.
How that interaction has happened, what it felt like. And when we talk about some of these things, like, I don't want to feel, like I'm in trouble or I'm scared, but that is a natural space to feel like this is a uncharted territory, right? Because you've not done it before, and you can assume what will happen. You know these people, you know them well enough to assume how they're going to respond,
Right.
and you don't want to put too much out there, and you want to let them navigate. You trust, but what has happened? How's that been for you?
I haven't been there yet. It's coming up, and I'm not. I guess I'm not so much scared of them meeting, but how my dumb self handles it.
Yes.
Right. Do I get comfortable with my ex-wife and just I'm too much over there talking to her? Oh shoot, I gotta. So I'm like, how do I don't want to do nothing dumb to like trigger or give my new lady the perception that it's still
that you're overly compensating for how she might feel and what her experience is.
So I can't wait till it happens so I can get that weight off my shoulder. But I'm like, if it goes bad, it's gonna be my fault. I know. I know.
My case, I was more worried about my daughter's mom meeting my current fiance. My ex-wife, I just found out breaking news that, today, that they actually met, at my son's banquet. But I don't think they've really been formally introduced, and then kind of had a conversation. And mainly because my boys are they're older. So the dialogue doesn't need to be as much compared to my daughter. But I remember them meeting my daughter's mom and my fiance meeting for the first time, and I was kind of nervous because knowing that how me and my ex ended, now I'm with this new girl, and this is before the engagement. So I was like, hopefully this plays it cool. But I just ripped the Band-Aid off and said, screw it, let's roll with it and get it over with, because my anxiety won't let me I just want to just.
Like, it's nothing to it but to do it.
Just
like,
get it over with. Just get it over with.
Yeah. And Pierre, I would offer some advice in that if you're nervous about how you might behave, make the introduction, such and such and such and such, and then move around.
And let's grab your girl.
And I would say, I almost feel like especially if when you're saying, I'm not concerned about the two of them, and you know them both well, right? And so you could introduce them because that's your space and that's your role. And then walk out and let them do them.
And so, like, my family has said that they would get along just fine. Like, they would be the best of friends. Yeah. They have identical personalities. And so I can't wait until they meet to let that happen. But it's like, again, I'm just going to be like, hey, what's up? I'm going to go get some chicken and get some baby shower food or whatever. So,
and then I think a safe thing, too, is to tell your fiance, like, I'm going to introduce you to, but I want to give you the space to be able to talk to her on your own. So I'm going to move around. So she don't feel abandoned. She already knows the play. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to overcompensate in any way, but she knew that this is what I'm going to do. This is how it's going to go. Because it gives her also a space to be able to stand on her own. Yeah. Right. I think that's important.
And I think it'll help also because they're meeting at a baby shower, at my daughter's baby shower. And so my fiance has taken a big step in preparing for this. She's paying for things. Perfect. She's putting things together. So she has to be there to help see this thing through. And so, and my ex-wife is a creative as well. So they're going to be together in this space, decorating, doing these things. So I was like, all right.
I love it.
Just stay to the side, please.
Right. I mean, that's just, and I think that's a perfect way to put it, is stay to the side, because you know them, they know they're going to meet each other. They know what each other's roles have been in the planning of this. So they're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Let the women.
Yeah. Let the women
right. And you just get your fumbling ass up out of the way.
I'm going to make a dumb joke or something.
The nervous energy.
It's going to be cricket.
No, this is good. I thank you guys so much for just being open and having this conversation. The thing is, we need to see ourselves in these spaces where we're communicating, we're thinking ahead, we're living our lives, though. That's the biggest thing. because you have been divorced or because you're separated, because you're now in a space where you have to co-parent, life is not over.
Right.
Life is not over. You can continue to live and still find love. Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And so, co-parenting confessions. Today we talked about what it means to be remarrying after divorce. And as you guys know, I have never been married, so I'm always looking for people to share what that experience is like. But I think we learned today that it is okay to seek love. It is okay to heal and move forward. Everybody will be great and marriage can work. So, we love you, and congratulations to both Mike and Pierre on their upcoming weddings. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
MBC. No relation to NBC.